What if I told you there was a billionaire who owned airlines, dated Hollywood's most beautiful actresses, broke world aviation records, and ended up hiding naked in a hotel room, terrified of germs, watching the same movie on repeat for months? This isn't fiction. This is the story of Howard Hughes, the billionaire who conquered the sky but couldn't conquer his own mind. Part 1. Born rich, built powerful, obsessed with control. Howard Hughes wasn't just rich. He inherited a fortune from his father's tool company before he was 20. But unlike most trust fund kids who would buy yachts and disappear, Hughes said, "Yacht? No, I want airplanes. And not small ones." He poured money into aviation and set world airspeed records. He founded Hughes Aircraft Company, turned Trans World Airlines into a major competitor, and even produced Hollywood films like Hell's Angels. At one point, he was one of the richest men in America. But here's the problem. When you're used to controlling everything, business, movies, machines, you start believing you should be able to control reality itself. And reality doesn't cooperate. Part 2. The crash that changed everything. In 1946, Hughes was test flying an experimental military aircraft called the XF-11. It crashed violently. He survived, but with shattered bones, crushed ribs, severe burns, and chronic pain for the rest of his life. Now imagine this. You're already a perfectionist. You already demand control over every detail. Then your body betrays you. Pain became constant. Doctors prescribed heavy painkillers. And from that moment, something shifted. The billionaire who once raced airplanes around the world began racing his own paranoia. Part 3. Germs became the enemy. Hughes developed extreme, obsessive-compulsive behaviors. He feared germs. He feared contamination. He feared invisible threats. He made employees type memos about how to open canned peaches without spreading bacteria. Yes, peaches. He isolated himself in hotel rooms for months. In Las Vegas, he essentially lived inside a suite at the Desert Inn. And when management asked him to leave, he bought the hotel. That's billionaire-level pettiness. But beneath the humor was something darker. This wasn't eccentric genius behavior. This was untreated, escalating mental illness. Part 4. Hollywood, Power, and Paranoia. In his prime, Hughes dated some of the biggest actresses in Hollywood, including Katharine Hepburn and Ava Gardner. He was charismatic, brilliant, magnetic, but control followed him into relationships. He reportedly monitored partners, controlled careers, and demanded loyalty that bordered on surveillance state energy. Power doesn't remove insecurity. It amplifies it. The more powerful Hughes became, the more suspicious he grew. Of business partners, of government agencies, of the world. Part 5. The billionaire in the dark. By the 1960s and 70s, Hughes had become a myth. He avoided cameras, avoided people, avoided sunlight. He would sit in dark rooms watching movies repeatedly, sometimes the same film for weeks. He rarely cut his hair, rarely trimmed his nails. The man who once designed cutting-edge aircraft now feared touching doorknobs. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Money couldn't save him. Not from trauma, not from addiction, not from obsessive thoughts. We love the fantasy that wealth equals peace. Hughes proved it doesn't. Part 6. The psychological spiral. Let's break it down. Childhood pressure to perform. Sudden wealth at a young age. Obsessive personality traits. Severe physical trauma. Heavy painkiller use. Isolation enabled by extreme wealth. Most people with severe mental illness are forced into treatment because society intervenes. Hughes, his money protected his isolation. When you're worth billions, nobody tells you no. And sometimes, that's the most dangerous thing. Part 7. The ending. In 1976, Howard Hughes died on an airplane. Ironically, while being flown to receive medical treatment. He weighed barely 90 pounds. His hair was long, his nails overgrown. The aviation pioneer who once conquered the skies died as a recluse afraid of the world. The bigger lesson. Howard Hughes wasn't crazy. He was brilliant. But brilliance without balance can self-destruct. Here's what his life teaches us. Success doesn't cure trauma. Control is an illusion. Isolation magnifies fear. Money can buy privacy, but it can't buy mental stability. We celebrate billionaires as if they're superhuman. Hughes reminds us they're painfully human. He built planes that could cross oceans. He built companies that shaped industries. But he couldn't build peace inside his own mind. And maybe that's the real tragedy of Howard Hughes. The sky was never his limit. His mind was. If you have watched this video to this point, it means you have enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, so when I drop a new video, you'll be the first to see it.